I'm Abrielle Millett for BYU-Idaho Radio, and today I'm speaking with Phil Langston, one of the producers of Retro X in Idaho Falls. Phil, can you tell us a little more about yourself and what you'd want listeners to know before we get into Retro X and what's that all about?
Sure. Well, I started collecting vintage toys and comic books about 25 years ago, so that shows you my age. My dad and brother, we owned a little shop in Pocatello, and so that got me into. I played a lot of sports, but then I really enjoyed the comic book side of things, and so I started collecting comics and toys. And year after year, I thought, man, it would be really fun to bring a event to Idaho that is different than your typical hunting or fishing or spring fair or boutique-y type thing. So that's kind of, I guess, collecting is what got me into wanting to do something larger.
Yeah, and do you mentioned you enjoyed reading comics. Do you have like a favorite comic series or anything like that?
I'm a Batman fan. So
Okay.
I enjoyed people like Neil Adams, artist who did a lot of the Silver Age, which was in the 60s. And the Batman we know today is because of him. He created that Dark Knight kind of character, where before in the Adam West kind of goofy Batman 60s, he brought it to a whole different. He brought a little more horror in, and which fans I think really took to in the 60s and 70s and that. So that's kind of who I've always enjoyed reading.
Yeah, and so this event that you guys, I guess, dreamed up is a pop culture and fan event, and it's kind of, is it like other Comic Cons, or how would you describe this event that you wanted to come here?
It's basically if you took Fan X, for instance, in Utah, and subtracted a few thousand people, and it's got the same idea, but in a smaller scale, just because our area is smaller, of course, population-wise, and we don't really have any really large buildings in the East Idaho like they do in Salt Lake. So I tried to take the idea of everything that happens in a Comic-Con and bring it to a smaller venue, but with the same ideas, like your cosplay, artist alley, panels, celebrity guests, exhibits, really great vendors from throughout the area, and it's smaller scale, but it gets very packed in there, and it's has the same kind of feel from the people that enjoy different fandoms.
Yeah, and this RetroX event, is this the first of its kind that you've done, or have you done like similar events already?
No, it's actually the first. Myself and my partner, Brandon, we created it. We were actually going for a toy show. We just wanted to do a simple toy show. And then the next thing you know, people are like, well, you can have this or you can have that. And then we started thinking more about it and thought, well, let's try a little miniature, convention. And so we started in the rec center. The farmer's market in Idaho Falls.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little old rec center there. It's like 7,000 square feet. It's a gymnasium basically with smelly locker rooms. And so we're like, okay, this is cheap. It was like $200 for the day or something. And so we didn't even have money to really advertise it. And we just put a banner outside and a 15-foot Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And the farmer's market was going on at the same time. So I think we got a lot of farmers market people coming over, but we ended up with about 2,000 people on our first one, which we thought maybe we'd get 500, but it was so packed. And that was we had a heat wave that was spring, And so it got about, I bet it was at least 98 to 100 degrees inside the building with no air conditioning. And people were dressed in cosplay in big furry suits, and they were still coming. I mean, the line outside just kept going, and we were in shock. We're like, I guess Idaho Falls really needed this. And even though it's so hot and I'm like sweating just standing there, and everyone was having a great time. It was really amazing.
Oh, that sounds awesome. I think this is super exciting, especially for me at least. I've seen images, like I've seen things, but I've never actually attended a Comic-Con. So I think this is something super exciting for maybe people who haven't had the opportunity yet, or people who love this and now they're like, this is a lot closer. I can do it here. What is something super fun for like a new person to experience at a Comic-Con?
I would say probably, and this would go for most Comic Cons, it would be cosplay. It's really fun. We have people that will spend months and like hundreds of dollars creating their cosplay outfit. And they love to show it, even though it's literally only for a few minutes. They'll come up on stage. Before that, they get judged. And they put so much time and energy and love into their cosplay to get it as close to whatever fandom they're playing as. And it's funny, we give out usually about $1,200 in gifts and prizes and cash. And I don't even think that it phases them like, oh, I won. I think it's just the fact that they were seen and people approved that, of how amazing it was, and the time they committed to it. So if you're new to the Comic-Con scene, I think cosplay is a great way to show off your passion for a certain fandom. And then, of course, there's also the autograph hunters. They like to go meet the celebrity guests, for instance. This year, one of them we have is Gem and the holograms. So people in their 40s and even 30s will remember that. Having a Gem doll or Rainbow Bright. I mean, you can still go anywhere and see Rainbow Bright merch in stores. Walmart has it. So it's still held up over 40 some years. It's pretty amazing. But I would say back to the question would be definitely the cosplay. I think for a lot of people, that's a real draw.
Mm-hmm. And it's that's fun because anyone coming can do that. I think that's cool because, I mean, you don't always have an opportunity to dress up as your favorite fandom or something that you're super passionate about in your day-to-day life. So I can see that draw. And I imagine when you dress up as certain people or things, people are going to be like, oh my goodness, I love that character too. It can form, I think, bonds with people you don't know because you have the same interests. Do you think that's like one of the draws, is that you kind of find that there's like-minded people at events like these things?
Absolutely. I mean, even before we started, I would go to FanX in Utah. Amount of people, you'd be walking along and suddenly they want selfies because they see someone else dressed as, a character that might be in the same universe that their character's in. And then suddenly it's a picture time and you have to stop and it's so crowded, but they're so happy. And even though it's crowded, and I think it does bring together people with like-minded, and it's a safe place to do it. This is a place I think you can really show off what you're, like I said, you're passionate about, and you're not going to be judged.
And I think something you mentioned to me earlier is that this is a family-friendly RetroX. So can you tell us a little more about that aspect of it and why that's unique. It might or why that might be unique in Comic Con sense.
We're very strict on showing too much flesh or, wearing something racy. And some cons don't really care as much. One convention I went to, I remember one of the cosplayers, my wife and I were walking by, and I'm like, she basically wasn't wearing anything, and it was just uncomfortable for us. And so that's something we really didn't want to have. Because I think you can show off your passion for your fandom without having to dress too racy. So that's something we don't allow. Of course, we don't have alcohol, things like that. Most of the cons don't have alcohol. Some of them do. I just find that that's not the right mix for, especially East Idaho. So we don't allow that. We're very strict about weapons, things that are brought in. And a lot of our exhibits are local businesses that deal with young people from different ages. And for instance, like Bricks and Minifig in Idaho Falls, they have a exhibit where they have a Lego section where kids can come and play and get to know the business. And if I allowed people not dressed correctly or vulgarities or anything like that, it wouldn't be the right environment for something like that. So that's something I think we pride ourselves on, is that we are you can bring your 3-year-old or your 13-year-old and know that they're not going to be around things that you don't really want in your home or your children to see. So
you mentioned one of the guests. Is there other guests that we should look out for?
I would say all of them, just because they're all going to be a little bit different. And for instance, Keone Young is G.I. Joe Storm Shadow. So they made a movie not too long ago, and Storm Shadow was in that. And plus, Keone's been in like Star Wars and Deadwood, all these really cool shows. And then back in the day in the 80s, he was in like Magnum PI and all these shows that we watched. So he'll be a really fun one. Power Rangers are going to be great. There's a big fandom for that. One is the character is Zordon, who's the holographic image that was in the very first pilot on. He was in over 200 and some episodes, and he was the one that would give the powers and train the Power Rangers. And so he'll be really fun to get to know, David. And then we got the Red Power Rangers from the Space Rangers, Chris. He has a really close connection to Zordon in terms of in Zordon's last episode, he actually has to kill him to save the world. The Red Ranger does. And so they have that connection. So if you're a Power Ranger, that is to me like in the 80s when they killed Optimus Prime in the Transformers movie. All of us kids are crying out in the theater. I mean, it's like 1984, 86. I can't remember, but I was just, in elementary school and they killed Optimus Prime, and we'd watch him every morning, because back then, it was very limited. You had your Saturday mornings, and that was huge. After school, you'd wait for Transformers, and suddenly he's gone, and you see him die, and so that just brings back, like for these Power Ranger people, it's Zordon who's not with us anymore in the TV series, but I think they'll be great ones to watch for. We've got a really great artist, Sam De La Rosa. So he's celebrating 50 years as an inker for Marvel and DC, and also indie comics. But he worked on the first Predator from 1989 comic book. He worked on Venom, the book that the movie was made out of or made from. So he's a really decorated artist in the industry.
That is super exciting. I liked the Venom movies. I definitely enjoyed that. So I'll have to go.
Yeah, it's a red foil cover and it has Venom on it,
Mm-hmm.
and he actually will sketch on it for you and make it yours, very custom. But he does conventions everywhere, little ones, big ones. We're super excited to have him here and share his just his professionalism and his art in that.
Yeah, that's super incredible. Seems like there's a lot of celebrity guests to look out for and to see at this event, which is June 12th and 13th, right?
Correct. Yep.
And is that all day? Like when does it open or close?
Sure. So we have early bird that you can pay extra. Early bird is for people who a lot of times like buying. They want to get there and see stuff before others. And if there's things they collect, they can jump on them. If there's really good deals, things like that. So on Friday, it's going to be from 12 to 7, and I believe early bird's 11. And then on Saturday, it's early bird's 10. It opens at 11 for the general public and stays open till 6. So we tried to stay open a little bit later, like on Friday, for people who are working and they are going to school or whatever. But you can get tickets on our website or our app, and it's $15, and anyone 12 and under is free. So we try to make it economically available for everyone. So I know you can go to a convention and you're paying for all your kids, and it becomes like this big ordeal.
Mm-hmm.
We feel that we want the children to experience these fandoms and to learn about other things out there that they can enjoy. Let's say they're not into sports, or maybe take them away from the video games a little bit and experience some other stuff.
Yeah, and you said so you can buy the tickets online. I think I wrote down, correct me if this is wrong, but it's www.ifretrox.com
Yep.
would be the website. Or I guess, yeah, the website to buy the tickets.
Yep. And then if you through Apple or Android, you can go to Contrack, which is TRACK, and download our app and go that way. The cool thing about the app is it'll tell you what time panels are, things like that. It'll also have all of our vendors. So let's say you didn't buy something and like 3 months later, you're like, oh, I wish I would have. All our vendors will still be there that you can click on them and go to their websites or wherever. It'll also have a treasure hunt. So it'll be 2 days of different. You'll go ask questions to the booths and then move on to the next until you get to the end. And then you can, everyone gets a little something. And then you can win different items like a big TV, different merch, things like that. One of Keiko Joe's is one of our sponsors, and they'll have gift cards to Keiko Joe's in the mall. Weeby Toys is one of our sponsors. Homestead Pizza, Rich Broadcasting. I know I'm going to forget someone. I think if I forgot anyone, I'm sorry, but I think that's most of our sponsors.
And this is it's in Idaho Falls, but where exactly is the event taking place?
Sure, it's at the Elks Lodge, and it's right next to the golf course. So if you're on, where there's a Fred Meyer's and all that right there, there's the golf course. We're right across the street. I always tell people if you see the scary rundown hotel, it's literally behind the scary rundown hotel that shouldn't hopefully one day get demolished. But it's 15,000 square feet, 2 levels. There'll be food vendors, like I said, exhibits. It'll keep you busy. And so I'm hoping people will come out and support. Without their support, we can't go on. And a percentage of what we do as well is we donate to the Idaho Falls Rescue Mission a percentage of sales, as well as the community food basket of Idaho Falls. So we try to give back to the community. So whatever you're paying, it's going to a good cause as well, not just to us. Which, by the way, I've never. Actually, I did take a $1,500 paycheck in 4 years. So all of our money goes back into the event. So every year it grows and we get bigger actors and celebrities and that. So that's something I think you can be proud of, that you're helping this event grow and helping people that need help as well while you're having a good time.
Yeah, that's beautifully said. And I definitely hope this becomes a tradition, like RetroX, like you said, continues to grow and be something that people can attend here in Idaho Falls, of all places. Is there anything else you'd like to add to talk about the event?
Just come and have a good time. Enjoy yourself. Hopefully you find something that interests you, whether it be just going and meeting a vendor and buying some really cool stuff from someone from another town or another state, things that you're not going to get here every day. So it's a one time a year that, you're in your backyard, you can actually buy things without going on Amazon or eBay, or, you get that feeling too of, hey, I went here and physically touched it and picked it out. So that's super important, I think, to help the vendors through purchasing items and things like that, so that it pays for their travel and all that other stuff. Oh, Falls Printing and YMCA as well. They're also sponsors. It just hit me. I'm old, so things hit me at random. But I think that's 640 East Elva. That's the street address if you want to Google it.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if I could take a moment. We're also opening a store. It's called Pop Fusion. So it's going to be across from the mall in Idaho Falls, in the plaza with Verizon, Little Caesars, and all that's in there. We are going to focus on all things pop culture. So it'll be a headquarters for RetroX throughout the year, but then we'll also have apparel. So for people who are into anything pop culture, whether it be fantasy, anime, comics, we're going to have artists that go to conventions and travel throughout the United States, and they're selling their merch at these booths. So these guys invest so much money traveling. So I thought, well, what if we actually had their merch in our store by each artist, and you can come get a shirt or a hoodie or a bag or something, or a print or stickers from that artist, and it would be unique, something that you're not going to find on Amazon, or you're not going to find at Walmart or wherever you shop. So you'll be wearing a unique shirt that we actually manufacture in the store. And so we'll have equipment to print these different items. We'll also have comics, collectibles, cross-stitching. There's not really any good cross-stitching. If you want just regular old cross-stitching supplies, you can go to Hobby Lobby or someplace like that. But we're going to have more pop culture kits and things that you can put together that we actually make ourselves. So that'll be something, if you're into cross-stitching, to pick up some really neat designs and that to do at home. So mostly that's what we're going to have in there. But I'm going to decorate it really fun. We have a giant, I don't know, any alien fans, the Xenomorph, the big alien. I've got a 6'8" one that's animatronic in there, Chewbacca, R2. It's just going to be a fun store.
That's going to be an exciting addition to the mall. You said is where it's going to be located.
Across the street.
Across the street.
Yeah,
from the mall.
there's a little I forget what it's called, but it has, when you're driving down, you'll see the Verizon stores, the big one, the dollar stores in there. There's a comic book shop across from us. IC Games, things like that. So
yeah, that's awesome. I'm Abrielle Millett for BYU-Idaho Radio, and today I've been speaking with Phil Langston, and he's one of the producers of RetroX, which will be happening June 12th through the 13th. So coming soon. So everyone come and enjoy it. Thank you so much for talking with me.
thanks for having me.